And away we go. Welcome back to episode number 6. Almost there. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. ABJ, defending champion, back for another season, coming for that two-peat. Let's talk about the squad he put together. 4th overall pick. I spoke to him before the draft. He said, I don't know who I'm taking yet. I don't know if I believe it, but he said it very convincingly. He took Elliott Saka 4th overall. I guess he was looking for an upgrade at quarterback last year. I don't know what he could have got better out of his quarterback, but
I mean, I agree on his logic. You know, I'm not going to say,
he wanted Elliott to be a two-way player.
I agree on his logic that he needs Elliott as a two-way player, and he knew he wasn't getting an all-star receiver. So having Elliott,
well, he passed on Al. He had a chance at Al.
Yeah, but then he wanted a great quarterback.
Right,
so Elliott is considered one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and I think defensively, he has such a smart mind. I'm not saying athleticism, but for some reason,
he's a football player.
He makes his reads are really good defensively. So I think it was a good pick, and maybe if I was in AB's position, I would have picked him over me, and not offensively, but definitely all around maybe. So we'll see.
But you can't knock AB for taking.
I know.
I don't think it's one of those you have a chip on your shoulder the rest of the season. How could you? It makes sense from AB's point of view. His next pick was a little bit of a surprise. I think he went back to the well again, and he went with Sim Fuchs as his first receiver. What do you think about that?
I love Sim Fuchs. There was one game Sammy Eshko got hurt, like end of game, his tooth came out or something. But Sim Fuchs came in the game, and we just did a long slant, and he's so speedy, and I hit him on a dime, and he scored a touchdown for us towards the end of the game. And he was one of the guys that, honestly, I wanted to be able to throw him the ball. I think this kid is great. So
you're fine with them having Sim Fuchs as their number one?
I think Sim Fuchs is really, really good. And Elliott at quarterback, he's not good. Sim Fuchs, I don't think is a long ball type of receiver. I think he's a 10 to 15 yard.
To me, the
slant.
best comparison I can find, and I don't know if he's on this superstar stat, is Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys, 5-step slant, catches the ball, and will run 30 yards.
I think Elliott knows how to use his players correctly, so I think Elliott and him will mesh really well. But I don't know their other receivers, so I don't know.
So his next pick was not a receiver, or he says it was a receiver, is Ralph Hannon. We haven't seen him in the receiver role. Last year he was pretty much a tight end. I think he's a gamer. He's probably the most competitive guy in this league. He wants to win. He's going to come every week to win. Veteran, knows the game. He's been playing it forever. Was the pick there at 20 the right pick?
I mean, AB felt like he had his quarterback and he had his receiver, and I don't know what ABJ thinks of him as a receiver, so maybe AB thinks he's the second receiver on that team, which is, if he thinks that, it's bold. But Ralph Hannon as a receiver, I don't think it's going to be effective, but I think he's a good staple guy to have on a team. He's great on the O-line, great on the D-line. When I played against him, the Packers, like I said, was the hardest team I played against, and he put a lot of pressure on me being on that D-line.
He had 2 or 3 sacks against you in that game.
Yeah.
So I think Ralph Hannon was a good pick. I don't think it was a great pick, but he definitely would not have gotten him at 34.
But I do agree. I do think Joe Z, Mike Carrari on this team, and then you still have...
he needs Ralph Hannon on the line. He doesn't have a big lineman without Ralph. So I think that Ralph is really going to end up playing line where he doesn't necessarily want to be. Let's talk about his next pick. We can't say too much about him. We don't know. Eliyahu Rodin. You noticed something in his video. I saw you commented. You noticed something funny about Rodin in his video. You remember what you saw? So you mentioned something about the automobile he was driving, or that was Eliyahu Rodin. So we don't know what we're gonna get of him. AB obviously felt confident enough to take him at 34.
I don't know if he's friends with Siegel.
He's not as part of the Siegel crew.
Someone told me he's not the best. Maybe it was Meyer. He's friends with Meyer Cassid?
Could be.
But I think it was Meyer told me he's not the greatest.
He said he's a 2-time Israel champ. He wanted to play quarterback.
This is different than Israel over here. So I don't know. I don't have much to say. They need this guy to be good to win. That's what I think.
I definitely agree. Obviously, ABJ, the next pick on that team. So I'm getting a little bit nervous for this team. ABJ has to be the third receiver if Hannon's on the line. I don't know how well that's going to work. Let's talk about his next pick. I'm gonna give you the floor to you because there's no one that can talk about this guy better than you. You're at Cass and your father. What do you think about this pick here? What's he gonna bring to the Steelers?
So I mean, I think at a tight end position, Mohala, all these guys, they're big. I don't see them getting through him. I mean, Saka knows, AB knows, all my boys know he's a wall. He might be 5'8". If you feel him and you push against him, you're going to the ground. And I think on the D-line, against these bigger guys, these guys will be on their asses. No doubt about it. Not because he's my dad. We play basketball with him on Saturdays, and the hacks that people get, they can't walk after getting hacked like that. And he's aggressive as shit. So I think he's going to come out every play, and he's in better shape than everybody in the league. He can run for days. So I think the D-line, and I've been throwing around with him outside. I think at the tight end, Elliott will know how to use him the right way, but he's probably the strongest guy in the league by far.
And then he rounded out his team with Aharon Gruskin, another question mark. He is from the Seagull camp. My one comment on him is 45th pick overall. Seagull made, looking at his team's not even here right now. Seagull made 6 picks before then, and he didn't take Aharon Gruskin.
Yeah, he picked Kaz before Aharon Gruskin, and he knows Gruskin. So
he said this last year with Sim Fuchs. Obviously he didn't take him because he's not good, but Sim proved us wrong. Is Aharon going to prove us wrong? I hope so. For AB's sake, I hope so, because he's going to need him to step up. What do you think about this team overall?
I think we put Dolphins at 8. Who do we put at 7?
You had the Bucks at 7.
The Bucks at 7. I think they're going to be 6.
I think you nailed it. I think this team is a horrible team if Elliott Saka wasn't playing quarterback. Mm-hmm. With Elliott Saka playing quarterback, I'll give them a little bit of a bump. I'll put them over a Meyer Caston team. I'll put them over an Ike Mavora team. I don't think they have enough weapons at receiver. Sim Fuchs is your 1. If Ralph Hannon's your 2, then Murad and Gruskin got to be your line. That means Roden's your 3.
Bold call. I think my dad's going to be a receiver for them after.
You don't think he plays line?
I think he'll play D-line. I think eventually they'll put my dad as
tight end or as a slot.
He's definitely going to be a tight end on the team, but I think they'll definitely eventually. I think they might have to put him as a receiver. He's pretty good. I mean, I haven't really played like organized football with him, but throwing with him outside, I think he's a better receiver than ABJ. So we'll see.
So I think I'll give this team the 6 seed a D+. I know I gave the 7 seed a better grade, but I just think this isn't a great team if it wasn't for Elliott Saka. So that is the Pittsburgh Steelers squad. We'll be back with another team.